So I guess this is kind of like also my first CD album review, which is really sweet because I'm happy that it got to be 5 sauce. I thought it was going to be with confidence, but it wasn't. So I basically know all the songs already before I even got this. Youngblood, obviously it's already so good. It's currently always playing on our radio, so you know, I literally listen to it every day when I get in the car. It's fine. Want You Back, I think it's actually kind of underrated. I wish that was played more on the radio than Youngblood, just because I just think it's such a good song, and I love the way it starts out. It starts out so slowly and so beautifully, and they really did a good job with this entire album. And I know I'm biased, but like, bitch, if you listen to this compared to their like first couple of EPs and even their first album, if I'm being honest with you, this over those any day. Lie to Me, I think, is a really beautiful song. Valentine, I think, is a fantastic song and definitely should have been another single. I think both of the music videos that they kind of promoted the song with really literally just so on point. I think Ashton's directing of the music video was also really fantastic as well. Talk Fast is a fantastic song. I really do think that it might be one of my favorite songs off of the album, just because, like, oh my god, like the guitars and that initial first those first couple of notes that they hit are so good, and like, oh my god, I just like literally the most on point fucking song I've ever heard in my life. Moving Along, I really do think the way they had the drum audio engineered, they really did a good job. Obviously Ashton did a great job with the drumming and everything, and I think this song is probably one of the most, like, I guess the best engineered in my opinion, mainly with the way they had the song arranged and how they had it mixed, where it's kind of like, especially towards the end, when you hear sort of a disorganization, and I guess it's like a distortion of the audio where it turns into more of like a, oh, like you're right there, you're right in the room with them. If Walls Could Talk, I think, is a great song. More so compositionally and probably more lyrically. I love the way Luke and Callum basically kind of take over this chorus here. And I think just as a whole in the album, Callum did a really good job overall with his vocals. Really good job providing his vocals for this album. And I like the fact that I can hear his voice so much throughout this whole album. It really shows not only his singing progress, but just him as a bassist and as a musician. Okay, so Better Man, I definitely feel it's in the same boat as Talk Fast, where those couple of notes in the beginning played on their guitars, I think, is just so good. It's so on point. It's a beautiful song overall. It's a beautiful love song. I really love the humming, the harmonies in the song, and especially more towards the end. Luke just really pushes his vocals with this album a lot. I'm just really proud of his progress as a singer overall. More is also kind of in the same line. I love the guitar, I love the vocals, it's beautiful. Swimming pools on the 5th floor. Another one of my favorite songs is Why Won't You Love Me. It's literally so cute, it's so good. I think the way they have the echoing of Why Don't You Love Me, especially in the beginning and everything, with like the mini vocals, I think that's what that is. Whatever audio engineering trick that they use there is so clever. Did a really good job with putting this song together as a whole. Woke Up in Japan kind of, I feel like, goes a little bit with Talk Fast here. It has that sort of 80s vibe. It has that sort of, it also has the same like echoing, like you're right there in that same large room as Moving Along does towards the end of that track. And I think it's a pretty good song overall. It's probably not the most popular, but I definitely call it one of my favorites. And this goes into my next point with Empty Wallets. Not a lot of people like it, but I think it's a great song. I actually heard it at school on campus while I was, I think, like writing a paper of some sort. I really don't remember what I was doing, but it was at the Starbucks in our main library, and I literally flipped my shit. I was like, oh my god, where's this song coming from? I have to know where this song is. And I don't know, I really think I'm gonna start cherishing that song even further because of that moment. I haven't had a lot of those moments in a very long time, at least not since like my middle school, like little preteen emo phase. Oh, another thing that I really, really appreciate about this song and this album as a whole is the piano. It's literally one of the most beautiful things in the world, and oh my god. This will bring me to my next point with the song Ghost of You that's on this next list. It's literally one of the most beautifully composed songs I've ever heard. They're really taking advantage of the whole scene now, where it's like, yeah, you use a little bit of piano and it's a little simple. I mean, I would call it simple in comparison. It's not like a sonata or anything, but that's perfectly fine with me. I still think it's beautiful. I feel like if you wanted to, you could totally cover this on your own piano if you wanted to ever learn it yourself. And I think that's a great opportunity, a great learning opportunity. The next official 3 songs on this track list are Monster Among Men, Meet You There, and Babylon. So for Monster Among Men, Michael starts it out, and I really loved it because you don't get to hear too much of his vocals, but that's really just the trade-off that you get from hearing more of Callum's. But I still think it's a beautiful song just because all 3 of them kind of join in. Okay, I have some words to say about Meet You There. I definitely think it kind of falls within that same sort of 80s vibe with Woke Up in Japan and Talk Fast, but this song is even better. That bass line literally sends me every single time. I will never get over it. It's such a beautiful intro. Like, Callum really makes me appreciate bass guitar, especially just with his particular with the particular bass lines and chords that he gets and uses within all these songs. It's literally so good. Next song here is Babylon, which I think is great that he has another song that he sings on his own, just like in the last one he had Invisible. It's not one of my favorite songs. I do enjoy the solo, but it's not one of my favorite songs. I think lyrically it's great. It might just be one of those songs that's a little bit overpowered by the actual music itself in comparison to the lyrics, but at the same time it works really well. I've noticed in the past they have a couple songs like this that Callum specifically had worked on, and I don't know, I can sense that there's a theme to a degree, and I can also recognize like similar elements from other songs in the past that are like this. And it doesn't make it a bad thing. It's just more not necessarily repetitive either. I don't know. It's just, I can tell that this is the kind of stuff that he is either used to writing or enjoys writing, just because, I don't know, it could just be an artistic freedom for him. But either way, I appreciate it. Okay, bonus tracks, When You Walk Away and Best Friend. So I didn't even know Best Friend even existed. So When You Walk Away is the first bonus track song that I listened to. Callum seriously did a great job with his bass playing here. Like, oh my god, just this whole album is fantastic. So you pretty much know my feelings about this album as a whole, even though I will say it's biased. So back to Best Friend. Great song. I think the lyrics are great. The start of it is great as well, with the whistling and the slow strumming. It's sort of like a western, but it's sort of not. And then it goes into the more electronic beat. I think that's a really nice touch to this song overall. So, thoughts about the album as a whole. It's fantastic. Please go get it. Or at least just listen to it on Spotify or on YouTube. You know, there's plenty of playlists. I know that Talk Fast for me is a huge favorite, but I know that a lot of the other songs that also have that same sort of vibe, I think are just really good as well. But yeah, there's definitely a song on here for perhaps maybe every sort of fan, maybe. I also do think that there is a song for other people out there. Like if it's not like Youngblood, like their main single, then it's one of their other songs. The album as a whole is such a pivotal point in their careers. They took so long writing it and making sure everything was well done, and I think that this album is the right step in whatever direction that they're going. But alright guys, I will see you guys next week. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Bye.